I do, as you all do the problem, let me give a narration on this. This is recording, so I can cut this portion and attach where I did not. So you all keep quiet as if I'm teaching. So we start today, we forgot to record this. So we start today with multiplication of rational numbers. Two rational numbers, we are interested in this product. So A by B is being multiplied with C by D. What we do is we multiply A, the numerator together and the denominator together, taking care that there can be some successive factorization or cancellations also. So that I have tried to illustrate. Say it's a 2 upon 3 multiplied by 5 upon 7. Here there is no chance of having any successive factorization. So we just multiply the numerators 2 into 5. That gives me 10. And 3 into 7 gives me 21. And similarly, I have taken another example of 2 upon 3 multiplied by 5 upon 8. Here 2 cancels 8 as 2 4 times 8. So it becomes 5 by 12. After that, we are then exposed to what is known as the properties. The first one starts with the closure property. Closure property tells me, just like in addition, if a rational number is being multiplied with another rational number, it gives me another rational number. So A upon B is a rational number multiplied by C upon D. It will give me G upon H, which will also be a rational number. In fact, you can check. If you multiply these two numbers, you get a 45 by 32. 45 is an integer, 32 is an integer, and 32 doesn't belong to 0. That means they are a rational number. Then we come to the commutative property, which says Monu into Sonu is equal to Sonu into Monu. So A by B multiplied by C by D is C by D multiplied by A by B. Associative property is how you handle the order. So if it is given that A by B is to be multiplied first with C by D, and thereafter you should multiply E by F, doesn't make a difference as long as everything is multiplication. You multiply C by D with E by F on a priority, and you can multiply A by B. So given three rational numbers, associative property tells us that the order of multiplication does not hamper the final product. So associative property tells me that the order of multiplication does not hamper the final product. Thereafter, we will be looking into something called multiplicative identity. So a multiplicative identity is a number with which if a rational number is multiplied, the identity is restored. So A upon B multiplied by 1. So multiplicative identity will be same for all rational numbers, which is 1. In additive identity, this is to be 0. Similarly, we have a multiplicative inverse. A multiplicative inverse is a rational number with which if a rational number is multiplied, I should get 1. So common sense says it should be the reciprocal of that number, because in that way, B cancels B, A cancels A, and all I'm left is with 1. Distributive property, the last one. Distributive property says if you have to do a multiplication over an addition, you can handle the addition first, and thereafter multiplication is similar to handling two multiplications and adding them together. So this is the idea in which distributive property is written, and in converting that same into rational numbers, you multiply the two rational numbers first and then you add their products. Right. There is some shani with your class. The other day we did not do this. Anyways, it can continue from here. So this is called, because now we have no recording, so I can give a voiceover to anything, right? So this part is known as the distributive property. Have you understood? So in distributive property, what we are doing, so now since we have understood, I am taking away these negatives. Have you understood? Not multiplication होगा तो देगा ही नहीं ना बेटा. तो ये क्या था? 5 by 6. What are you trying to say? Aryan, फिर से बोलो तो not multiplication means? Suppose there was no multiplication here. The name of the property is distributive property of multiplication over addition. कई लड़का होगा घर का, मम्मी के 2 फ्रेंड के घर में देख देगा. Every multiplication's reciprocal is division only. So we see distributive property only in multiplication. That's the reason I actually showed you distributive property from this particular screen. This is the ideal one. So let's try to do this, okay? So if you do on your left hand side, what do you get? अच्छा, लेफ्ट हैंड साइड को श्रेयस देखो बिल्कुल जैसा है वैसे ऑनर करना पड़ेगा. पहले हमें ब्रैकेट को करना होगा. 3 और 6 में क्या 3 6 को मारता है? बिल्कुल. तो एलसीएम कौन है? 6. तो 6 बैठ गया. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. माइनस 5 रह गया. यहां पे कितना हो गया? -3/4. अब यहां कितना आएगा? -1/6. अब यहां पे निगेटिव निगेटिव हो गया, ये 3 डिवाइडेड बाई 4 इंटू 6 है कि नहीं? तो 3 6 को काटता है ना बेटा, 2 times 1/8. This is lahas. Let us try to do rahas. रहस करो बेटा. रहस में क्या हो जाएगा? 2 4 को काटेगा 2 से and 3 3. So if you see, it will be -3/4 into 2/3, ये एक हो गया, minus -3 into 5, 4 into 6. Clear बच्चा? 3 and 3 cancel each other, so a -1 is still staying here, and 2 with 2 becomes 4. So it becomes -1/2. Agreed? And 3 cancels this as how much? 3 2s are 6. So this is negative of -5/8. बच्चा, नेगेटिव ऑफ -5/8. ये समझ में आया? तो ये नेगेटिव अंदर है. आगे चले. दिस इज -1/2 प्लस 5/8. श्रेयस, क्या 2 8 को मौत देता है? बिल्कुल. एलसीएम हो गया 8. 8 डिवाइडेड बाई 2 इज 4. 4 मल्टीप्लाइड बाई -1 इज -4. और इधर कितना रहा? 5. यानी कि आंसर कितना आया? 1/8. इसके बाद हमारे चेहरे में आ जाती है बहुत बड़ी खुशी, क्योंकि लहस और रहस सेम है. Hence it is proved. Anyone who has not understood any step, please feel free to ask. If you don't understand and remain quiet, then you are a IDIOT. You know what is IDIOT? शेष नहीं समझा, इसको समझाओ.
The word you said the spelling of the German
बहुत बोला है वो. IDIOT is idiot. An idiot is a person who doesn't understand yet doesn't open his mouth thinking that he is doing the wise thing. वही तो idiot हुआ ना. बहुत गर्मी है आज, बहुत ज्यादा गर्मी है. I have never sweated so much teaching over last so many years. वही तो मजा आ रहा है ना. Have we understood? Okay. So shall we start with exercise 1D then? Okay, we start with 1D, and children in 1D what we will do, we will start with question number 1, gallop. Gallop means, have you understood? 1 का odds करते हैं यहाँ पे. हाँ, 1 3 5. किसी को ऑड करना है, किसी को इवन करना है, कीजिए. सो वी स्टार्ट विद एक्सरसाइज 1D. चलो चलो बच्चा, ये बहुत दिन हो गया ये रैशनल नंबर लेके. एक्सरसाइज 1D, एंड इन एक्सरसाइज 1D we will gallop. Your wish, either you do the evens or you do the odds. Whichever you not do goes for your homework. The other day Shreyas said, sir, after 29 minutes video is not there. Today also will be like that, because there's nothing to teach. The video comes only when I speak. So thereafter we started to show distributive property over an example. This is self-explanatory. So I am multiplying this number with the sum of these two. Sum, you'll say, sir, it is minus. Why is it sum? It's sum because every negative means you are adding the negative number. So you first solve out the left hand side, which gives you a 1/8, and then you solve the right hand side, which is 1/8, and thereafter you show that distributive property holds true for rational numbers. And then we have now moved to do exercise 1.8, all the odds or the evens of first one. Right. Basic, and you should understand it. Once again, it's getting recorded, so please understand. We have a rule that x to the power minus m is always written as 1 by x to the power m. With the same consideration, if I have 2 to the power minus 1, it is 1 by 2 to the power 1. If I have 2 to the power minus 2, it is 1 by 2 to the power 2. Have you understood this? एक बार देख लीजिए. Now in this chapter we would be given what? Rational numbers. 2 by 3 to the power what? Minus say 1. How do we solve it? So initially if you find it difficult, we say let 2 by 3 be equal to c. तो कि थोड़ा देखने में easy हो जाए. So this is c to the power minus 1, and as per this rule it should be 1 by c to the power 1, which is nothing but 1 by c. Now substitute and put the value of c. What was c? 2 by 3. It still looks a little bit clumsy for us, so we can write this as 1 divided by 2 by 3. And whenever we divide something, we actually multiply it with its reciprocal, which is 3 by 2. And this can be written as 3 by 2 to the power 1. What you should now pay your attention is the order. We started with 2 in the numerator. We ended up with 2 in the denominator. We started with 3 in the denominator. We ended with 3 in the numerator. And a minus 1 swapped to 1. Did you understand? So can we write a generic formula? Let's write a generic formula. A by b to the power minus m is equal to b by a to the power m. This is the generic formula. It will hold true. It's nothing about minus 1 or minus 2. And this is how it happens. We have proved it. मजा आया? समझ में आया अभी? ये आप स्क्वायर के साथ भी कर सकते हैं, यही आंसर आएगा. क्यूब के साथ भी कर सकते हैं. जब भी हमें द होल रैशनल नंबर टू द नेगेटिव, सुनिए इसमें एक चेंज है. द होल रैशनल नंबर शुड हैव 1 पावर. अभी क्या आईज विल पेन, ऑलवेज बैक स्ट्रेट, otherwise you'll have back pain. The whole rational number to a negative power is equal to the reciprocal to the positive power. In the case of 1, we don't write it because it doesn't make sense. But the best way is to understand it like this. Have you understood? Yeah. So based on that, you can now do, yeah.
If you're saying c to the power negative 1 is the same as
1 by c to the power 1.
So you can also say it's negative c.
No. C to the power negative 1 is not 1 by c.
So negative c.
No. C to the power negative. C to the power negative 1 is not same as negative 1 multiplied by c. The power is negative 1. You'll get it clear from exponents. C to the power negative 1 is 1 by c to the power 1. 1 by c to the power 1 means c is getting written only once. C square means what? What does c square means? C multiplied by c. When a number gets multiplied by itself, the number of times it gets multiplied is written as the exponent. Ran to the power 5 means ran into ran into ran into ran into ran. Ran to the power minus 1 does not mean minus 1 into ran. Ran to the power minus 1 means 1 by ran to the power 1. Got it? Have you understood? I think rest of everything we should be able to do, unless and until, and you should be able to do those product numbers also. By what should what be multiplied so that we get blah blah. Yes, sir. Which one?
1 or 8.
Fifth one? Fifth one, 8th. Why? You are supposed to find out the multiplicative inverse. Fifth 8. Fifth 8 is how much? 0 by 2.
Isn't the ratio?
No, 0 by 2 is a rational number, but it's
2 by
2 by 0 does not exist. Therefore, the multiplicative identity of 0 by 2 does not exist. Not exist. Because if you multiply 0 by 2, you should actually show that the multiplicative identity of 0 by 2 is the reciprocal, which is 2 by 0. And 2 by 0 does not exist.